Let's go back on the record. Board perhaps anticipated your motion. We talked about the disturbing or avoiding disturbing the peace, safety, quiet, health, welfare of the community. It doesn't appear that there's anything in the record at this point to determine, even in a light most favorable to the agency, that there was a disturbance of the peace. We're limited in our whatever evidence we were able to consider regarding the November 11th incident. So as to the 4 separate counts of Rule 3.12, the board will indeed dismiss the charges. We gave you, I mean, I know you're doing this chronologically, but we're just gonna, we're gonna dispose of that now. Additionally, as with the your attempt to summons the alleged victims of a violent assault on that evening of November 11th or 12th, this summons were not able to be served. We don't know why. The declarant is unavailable, but he was never properly served, so we won't have to answer that question. But we determined there's not enough evidence for the 401A and the 12108 charge to continue, so we'll dismiss those as well. Would you like to take a crack at another one?
I'll leave the Article 2B 10505s for the end after I request some discussion with regard to those. Yes. There's no clear definition with regard to liquor board parlance as to what live entertainment and dancing is. There is a zoning definition of live entertainment. There's no specific definition of dancing in the zoning definition, if I didn't confuse you on that. It refers to various items. You have karaoke and DJs on the lower spectrum, and then you have magic shows, and then there's dance, but the dance would be, as I interpret it, like an Alvin Ailey dance theater, not people dancing at a club. That would be, I believe, an undefined definition of dancing in the zoning code, which many uses are not defined.
Let me understand your argument. Are you saying that the dancing, per your understanding of the definition, would only be related to a performance of the dancing?
A performance dance, ballet, classical dancing, whatever. But there is a zoning definition of
patron dancing.
Yeah, you have restaurant with or without live entertainment and dancing, and you have tavern with or without live entertainment and dancing. I'm just making clear that my reading of the zoning code is that the dancing part is an undefined dancing, people dancing as you understand dancing.
Based that on what?
Just the context in which the 1-53.2 is the definition in the zoning code. I don't know that it gets to the heart of what I'm going to say in any event, but it says review dance. And I'm just saying that when you're talking about dancing as far as people dancing, it's not in that definition of live entertainment. It's something separate.
We'll receive your zoning definitions of live entertainment, section 153.2 as the licensee's first exhibit. Anything else?
Continuing on with that, and I'll remind the board of the, now the name of the place on Eastern Avenue is going to slip my mind. Regarding a live entertainment violation. And what I had argued there and what I think is, Bistro, Timothy Dean Bistro, thank you, Mr. Commissioner. With regard to the live entertainment part, the entertainment has to be live. So if there is recorded music that's not live entertainment, if there is a microphone, that would certainly be appropriate for the purpose of giving direction if there were a fire. Everybody approach the nearest exit. If the person on the microphone goes into actual entertaining, as far as telling jokes or rapping or this goes out to so-and-so for his 30th birthday or something like that, you could get into entertaining. Sergeant candidly testified that the gentleman, the manager, Mr. Maldonado, was speaking in Spanish. He had no idea what he was saying. So I don't think there's any, I'm sorry, Lieutenant Jury. So I don't see that there's any evidence in any of the events of live entertainment. Now, with regard to dancing and the Timothy Dean Bistro case as guidance, if an establishment is providing a place for dancing, I believe that you would need a zoning permit for that. If you have an establishment that has music playing and there are tables and chairs and the patrons begin to move to the music, that would be First Amendment protected conduct. So there has to be something more than a crowded place where there's good music playing and people are having a good time and they're juking to the music. There has to be some type of organized dance floor with a parquet floor and a disco ball and a roped off area where they're actually providing an avenue for dancing, but just people exercising their rights to conduct themselves in an orderly fashion would not arise to the event of violating a zoning establishment zone for dancing. So I would ask that all of the 4.18 charges be dismissed based on that.
All right, your motion is denied.
Thank you. And like I said, I'll reserve on the Article 2B 10505.
All right. We'll hear from you.
Thank you. With regard to that, I would first like to call Inspector Ed Owens.
Inspector Ed Owens with Baltimore City Liquor Board in for the City of Baltimore.
Thank you. Mr. Owens, do you have any personal knowledge of anything that happened on November 11th, 12th, 16th, 23rd, and November 2012 or January 3rd, 2013?
I have no personal knowledge.
All right, why don't you give me the basis of the proper basis of his testimony?
Mr. Owens, his
It's a
area.
violation. It's not a protest of renewal, so it's
Understood.
a narrow scope.
Okay. Mr. Owens has been to the location, has observed the liquor license hanging on the column, and I want him to explain
All right.
what
Well,
he's observed.
The commissioners, with regard to remarked how we're sometimes amazed how much time gets spent on cross-examination and now direct examination of what is often a $25 fine. But proceed.
It was charged.
Go ahead. I think we have bigger fish to fry, but go ahead.
Okay, Mr. Owens, this area is in your location.
That is correct.
You've been inside the establishment.
That's correct.
You've observed the liquor license as the sergeant and lieutenant have described.
That is correct.
Okay, did you cite doing your routine inspections, did you ever
Has
admonish
never
the,
been cited for a license violation.
Why not?
That type of license. Because the license is evident, it was there, it's readable, everything is readable on the license. When 2B 10505 was brought about, the plastic containers probably weren't even around, so they said glass. If they slide into a clear plastic container and you look up, you can read everything on the license.
okay. So there was, even though the license is on the back of the column instead of the side of the column or the front of the column, you have no problem
Not at
that
all.
it's
But
conspicuous behind the
The
bar?
column is right behind the bar. In fact, they told us that the column was, when they moved freight past, they were hitting the license, so they just turned it around to the back. You walk behind the bar and look up, there's the license. It's displayed behind the bar.
Thank you, sir. I have no further questions.
I have a question. When you, for a patron who's not well-versed in the inner workings of bars and restaurants, when you walk into the establishment, is it clearly visible to an untrained eye as soon as you go to the bar?
It was certainly clearly visible because it was on that post. Now, they moved it behind.
So
But it
now
was-
that it's
but it was-
behind the post and if I'm the post and you're the patron,
Yes. I
is
have
it
to walk behind
back
the bar.
here or
That's
is it
correct.
here?
No, it's behind.
So
But it's still behind the bar.
answer is no, it's not clearly visible for an untrained patron, untrained eye of a patron who comes in and standing at the bar. They can't see it.
That is correct.
Okay. Thank you.
Another question.
Yes, sir.
Do you allow the patrons to go behind the bar so that they can look at it? Do you?
That I do not know. I cannot answer that question.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Inspector.
Yes, you're welcome.
Thank you, Inspector. Mr. Carlos Maldonado. Come up to this microphone. State your name.
Carlos Bulnes, Maldonado.
All right, and it's Maldonado?
Yes.
All right, thank you, Mr. Mullen.
Okay. Mr. Maldonado, you're the manager of the Playbook? Okay. Now, I'm going to ask you about the license since we're on that subject. Okay?
Okay.
All right. First, where, did you correct the license issue at this point? You have a picture?
It's not correct. Yeah, it's not correct.
Okay. Could you
because-
show the board how you've redid the license?
Yeah, I mean, really, God, we're almost willing to concede on the license. I'd like to hear more. Yeah, of course,
Too much time invested.
that's just my one vote, but go ahead.
It's not behind the bar. Okay, and or it's now
Just show the picture.
It's now from the kitchen.
Can we keep that for our records?
All right, so
You
it's
got a
been,
glass frame. Right?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
you put it in the front.
And it's in the frame. Yeah.
Okay.
It's in the frame. There's the picture.
I see that it's a license, but I can't determine the location of the license at this point. And that, I think I don't want to belabor the point.
Okay.
Thank
But
you.
you've corrected the situation.
You said no.
No.
But no.
It's
Okay.
It's not right.
Please.
It's
please,
not.
I
It's
think-
not. It's not right because let me make an example. Like this is the where's
Post.
the post, right? Okay. This is on front the bar. This is behind the kitchen, right? Okay. But always we have the license in this size.
Why
and
did
this
you do that?
and this size
Facing
is
the front door?
facing the front door. Okay, but that's not what they say. It's behind the bar now. It's in this area like this. When you come to inside, you can see the liquor license, all the license.
Okay. This facing the
Uh-huh.
front door is a new location. Back facing the kitchen was the old location.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
all right, thank you, I think we settled that.
Thank you. Now, Mr. Maldonado, you were present on January 5th, 2013?
Ready?
Mr. Mullins
Yeah,
incident?
yeah.
Okay. Did you, you were in the bar?
Yeah, I was yeah, but now I'm from the but
Speak into the mic.
A little closer, Mr. Mullen. Thank you.
yeah, I was there, but I was there, but now I'm front when they got the police coming in.
Okay. Did you see any police inside the premises that night?
I didn't see nobody.
Okay. Did you, was the establishment asked to present the liquor license?
One of those girls they working with me, they bring the liquor license outside.
Did any police actually enter inside the premises that night?
I didn't see nobody.
Okay.
I didn't see nobody.
Thank you, Mr. Maldonado. I have no further questions.
All right, thank you, Mr. Mullen.
Mr. Hiram Parks?
Hiram.
And the last name, I'm sorry.
Parks, P-A-R-K.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, Mr. Parks, are you affiliated with the Playbook?
Yes.
And what is
Yes.
your position?
Head of security.
Okay, now, let's stay on January 5th, 2013. Were you present that night?
I was.
Okay, and where were you when did the police arrive?
Outside, yes.
Okay.
Well, they was already on post at the Sicko station.
Okay, so the police, the marked police car is across Graceland Avenue or German Hill Road in the parking lot of the Sitco station.
Yes.
Okay, and Mr. Mullins, who was an irate customer, went and talked to the police, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, and the police came up to the front of the establishment?
Yes.
Did they ever come inside the establishment?
No, sir.
Can you explain what you observed and where you were?
From the beginning or from that point? Okay, well, what I observed was the gentleman was being irate at the bar and caused for concern, so I tried my best to find out what was the problem. And he kept saying that my drinks are free. My drinks are free. It's free all night. And I said, what do you mean the drinks are free all night? That's what they told me at the door. So anyway, I took him back to the door to try to straighten everything out. And then he explained, the person at the table explained to him, no, it's $5 cover charge. And he told him that's what he said. So he kept going on because he was intoxicated at the time, highly intoxicated. And then we escorted him outside. I seen him run across the street to the officer that was on post and at the Citgo station. And I came back inside. So a couple minutes went by, and Patricia, which is the floor manager, she went behind the bar to grab the license. And before she passed me, I said, where are you going with that? And she said, well, the officer wants it. So I said, okay. So she went outside. After that, then that was it.
Did you observe any police officers enter the establishment?
Not that night.
Is the inside of the establishment visible either through any doors or windows looking into the establishment?
No,
And why not?
because we have double-sided curtains to block the sound from going too far out, or to minimize the sound.
Okay. And you know Sergeant Bailey?
Yes,
Okay.
and lieutenant.
And the lieutenant?
Mhm.
And the other officers named in the report?
I'm not familiar with his name, but maybe by face.
Okay. And you didn't see any uniformed police officers come into the establishment?
Not that night.
You're saying the manager, Patricia, took the license and took it back out to the police officers?
Yes.
And they stayed at the front of the establishment the entire time?
Yes, they didn't come inside. I don't know where they were outside because I was on the floor.
Okay.
I have a question. Yes. Were there any dancing at the establishment on the 16th, the 23rd, either January the 5th?
It's not dancing. We don't have a designated dance area.
Was there any dancing, whether it was dancing on top of the table, on the bar?
Oh, no.
anything?
No.
Did anybody dance any place in the establishment on those days identified?
It really goes to your interpretation of dancing, but people were standing drinking and listening to the music.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
All right, Mr. Parks, you indicated that you work for Playbook.
Yes.
All right, is it also called Los Pasiones
Yes.
nightclub?
Yes.
All right, and what name is more prevalent in the neighborhood?
Pasiones.
All right.
Well, in the neighborhood would be Playbook because that's what's on the sign outside. But to the patrons, they would know it as Pasiones. Yes.
Pasiones nightclub,
Pasiones.
just Pasiones.
Yes, that's it.
All right. What does a Dundalk bar charge a cover for if they're not offering live entertainment? Or adult entertainment or any other kind of entertainment?
Well, with any charge to a cover, it always goes to or pertains to the environment. You pay for the environment, for the ambiance, for the crowd that comes. You know, it's certain areas where you have to pay if you want to sit in this place and have a drink because of the potential to meet certain women or the potential to, just like I say, have a good time. But it's not whereas we're forcing people. We're not grabbing people off the street and saying, look, give me $5, you're going to the club. You know, they come to the club and we give them the option of, $5.
But so you understand that this is a BD7 license zone as a tavern restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
And you're saying that the cover charge is not for any entertainment at all, it's for the ambiance to be in a tavern restaurant?
Exactly, and the cuisine. The food is absolutely terrific. When you go inside, you really have to come. Like I say, it's a nice setup, have tablecloths and everything real upscale, especially for the Latin community. And it's not too many Latin establishments whereas people can enjoy themselves, so we're just on, like say, certain days, not every day. It's not every day that you charge. Like a Monday is free, and oftentimes when we have like the game and stuff, we have for free. But certain nights we have food specials and certain things to bring people in.
All right, thank you.
One last question. Is it legal to charge someone to come into BD7's tavern?
I'm not sure because I don't know what B7 means, but as far as legal, I don't know that it's illegal. I haven't been told by any officer that it's been illegal. And I've worked in many establishments.
All right. All right, thank you, Mr. Parks. Anything?
Nothing further.
All right, thank you.
Briefly, I'm going to call Mr. George Dowell, one of the licensees.
Good afternoon. Mr.
Afternoon.
Dial. See you again.
Spell your name for the record.
Dival. D is in David, I, V is in Victor, E is in Edward, L is in Lewis III.
Okay. Mr. Dival, with regard to the issue of the cover charge, can you explain to the board the reasoning behind the cover charge?
Yes, the main reason that we charge at the door is that one of the agreements we've had with the neighborhood is that they wanted to make sure the neighborhood was safe. So we said, okay, we'll go above and beyond. We'll have 8 to 10 security people checking IDs, making sure there's no disturbance, which we've never had a disturbance. But that comes with a cost. 8 to 10 people per night. So that's the reason we charge, to help offset the cost of that, to appease the neighbors.
All right.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
The outside of the establishment, it has the name, I can't.
Playbook.
Pasiones.
Pasiones.
No, the neighbor, that side of the bar has Playbook on the lit up sign.
Okay. The chairman referenced the nightclub. Is your establishment also,
There's nothing in print anywhere that says the word
Well, the only
nightclub.
where is in print is in one of the police reports in this matter. Somebody refers.
Well,
to
no,
it.
no, it is not a nightclb.
That's fine. Just one of the officers has
No,
put
ma'am.
into the parentheses as Los Pasiones nightclub.
That is not the legal name.
okay. Do you hire a promoter?
No, ma'am.
Do you have?
Carlos does all of our,
Are you aware that, would it be surprising to know that you have a Facebook page with Los Pasiones for your nightclub? Referring to it as a nightclub with your physical address?
I have not issued anything that says the word nightclub on it, or with a Facebook, sorry.
Would you be surprised to know?
Yes, I would.
You would be surprised.
Yes.
Have you instructed your manager to not refer to your establishment as a nightclub at
Yes,
any
it's-
point?
Yes, it's been told not to call it a nightclub.
Okay. Could you describe or define to me what dancing is in your definition?
It depends if I'm at,
Something like you
it depends,
just know it when
it
you see
depends,
it?
no, it depends if I'm at, no, I mean, dancing is dancing. It depends if I'm at Havana Club and I'm doing salsa merengue, or if I'm at, a hard rock concert and people are mosh pitting, or,
You may describe mosh pitting as dancing.
that's a form of dancing, yes,
Thank you.
no problem.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. And closing?
Closing, with regard to the sign charges, the statute, wherever it went, was enacted in 1947, talks about a glass frame. Cellophane coverings probably weren't in existence back then, so I don't think that's a violation. The 10505 speaks of the license being conspicuous. It's conspicuous to the police, to the liquor inspectors, not necessarily to the patrons coming in. The fact that the thing ended up on the back of the post instead of the side of the post because it kept getting bumped into should not be a grounds for violation. With regard to the dancing issue, there is no live entertainment. With regard to the dancing issue, on a preponderance of the evidence standard, even on a preponderance of the evidence standard, the fact that persons move around is not provided in a good example, Havana Club type of atmosphere where there's actual dancing. I don't believe that any of those charges on any of those dates should be sustained. I ask that you dismiss all charges. Thank you.
Thank you. Go off the record.
Doesn't matter to me. I just want to make
Let's go back on the record.
the board's summary indicates that there was a $2,000 fine on the renewal protest. It does not correctly indicate that that was reduced by the board to $500. So I just wanted to make sure the board was aware of that when they did their deliberations.
Okay, I don't remember either, but okay, cool. We'll
Thank you.
Thank you. Off the record.
We heard testimony that on occasion, after occasion, after occasion, the license was still in a place that was not conspicuous, didn't allow for the license to be easily read, and wasn't under glass. We do determine, based on the police report and the testimony, I believe, of Sergeant Bailey on that date, on the first date, November 16th, 2012, that in fact the license was not in a place where it was conspicuous or easily read. It was behind a column facing the kitchen and the bartenders instead of facing out so that customers could see it, or anyone for that matter could see it. It was definitely not conspicuous, and certainly by a preponderance of the evidence, it's guilty. It'll be a $25 fine for November 16th, 2012. Again, on November 23rd, 2012, the evidence showed that the license was in the same place a week later. And we'll find, based on the sergeant's testimony on the 23rd, a guilty finding and a $25 fine. And finally, once again, on January 5th, 2013, once again, when the sergeant made a visit, license was still not cured. It was still in a bad the same bad location, and it's a $25 fine. Moving along to the Rule 4.18 violations, the board indicates that, or the board notes, we took extensive testimony on this. We're baffled because it's clear from the testimony of the sergeant in this case that he saw numerous people dancing, not swaying, dancing, couples dancing. He overheard Mr. Maldonado in Spanish speaking enthusiastically on the microphone. All things that would lead someone to believe that live entertainment in some form was going on November the 16th, 2012. This license, it's been put in a place where the bartender can stare at it all day and the customers can't. You would think that it would burn into the licensee's head that it's a tavern restaurant, not including live entertainment / dancing or outdoor table service. So we don't have to determine whether or not there was live entertainment necessarily or dancing, because it's on the license itself, it says both. No live entertainment nor dancing. So we don't have to determine, was that live entertainment, was it not? Well, was it dancing? I think these officers know what dancing is when they see it. And we're going to take their word that, in fact, these patrons were dancing. We're also going to determine that they were credible on the 23rd and on January 5th, 2013, where there was conflicting testimony that they didn't enter the bar. They both, Sergeant Bailey entered the bar with his colleagues, and we have no reason to disbelieve him. We believe him, and we find by a preponderance of the evidence that, in fact, on November 16th, 2012, Sergeant Bailey testified that there were quite a few couples dancing, and Carlos Maldonado on the microphone. We find you guilty. It's a $500 fine for this violation on November 16th. So what's worse, they come back a week later and the same thing's going on. Dancing's happening, despite the fact that the license clearly says no dancing, despite the fact that the officers cited them a week prior